Judicial independence is not a privilege of judges, but a right belonging to all citizens. Why is it still difficult to make this message clearly understood, even within democratic societies?
I'm not sure that it's that difficult to explain the underlying concepts or to get people to agree with things that they ordinarily want. I think most citizens, all citizens, have an expectation of their judiciaries that they are impartial, independent, and they prosecute the crimes of all wherever they're committed, the rich, the famous, the powerful, the political, that their own rights are defended and they're not subjected to arbitrary interference on the whims of all-powerful governments or corrupt officials to prosecute and harm them. And I think this basic underlying idea, this central idea of objective, impartial fairness continues to resonate very strongly to this day. Where the complexities, I think, do arise, and some of the tensions we're seeing around debates around the independence of the judiciary, is where you have political parties and personalities proposing political reforms that many people agree with, and that judges find themselves having to rule against, because these proposals violate a series of constitutional norms, international human rights norms, domestic legislation, European legislation, and these populist parties stand up. Look at these judges obstructing the will of the people, and I think much of the tension comes from that. It's not because judges are appropriating powers unto themselves; it's because they're applying the law as they find it. But this law is sometimes in tension and at odds, at variance with what a proportion of the public wants and their political representatives are saying should be happening. And I think that's the tension. The danger in the end is that this urge to push through a series of political agendas prompts a tearing apart of all the guarantees of the rule of law, of independence of a judiciary, to push through one set of agendas. But once you've lost these things, it's very, very difficult to get them back.
So, in recent years, you have closely followed the situation in Poland and other European countries. What role can a foundation like RAFTO play in raising public awareness of these issues and in helping people understand how the erosion of the rule of law affects their everyday lives?
Well, we can do many things. My organization, we provide an ambitious teaching program for young people, mainly high school students, but also for the teachers who are to teach them about civic matters. We support artists who present human rights issues in different ways, documentaries. We advocate for human rights with our national government, with European authorities, and around the world. And we should think of this as citizenship responsibility, which we all have, and we all can make a difference in our circles and with our professions, and with whatever enthusiasm and skill we can muster for the cause.
Okay. Good morning, Monika Praskowiak. In recent years, you have become one of the most recognized voices defending the independence of judiciary in Poland. Looking at the Polish experience today, what do you think are the most important lessons for Europe? And do you see any signs that similar dynamics of democratic erosion are emerging in other EU countries?
Well, first of all, whenever we travel with my Polish colleagues around Europe, but also to States and other countries, we can see the same pattern everywhere. So what was happening in Poland, what was happening in Hungary, what was happening in Turkey first, it's happening now in other countries. And in some countries it's more tricky than the others. In Poland it was like the shocking change of the system. In other countries we can see that it's more subtle and difficult to detach. but the tendency is that populists try to convince people that judges are not for the people, that judges are kind of casta, and it's the same pattern everywhere, and we are quite easy target, unfortunately, to attack. And the main lesson, the main conclusion is that we should be active, remembering about our duties, about the cross line, the red lines we cannot cross, and but we have to speak out, and this is confirmed already by European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, by many declarations given by some international organizations. We have to be active, we have to defend rule of law, and we have to collaborate with lawyers, with civil society.
Thank you.